today. So today's topic is JLPT N5 examination. I'm going to be giving you a brief look inside about what the JLPT examination is about, the duration, the marks, and what are the sections involved and everything. A very brief introduction about JLPT examination and also important tips for you to prepare and also help you pass the exam. So, right. So, firstly, what is the JLPT exam? So, the JLPT exam is the Japanese language proficiency test. So, what is this JLPT? So, is it really necessary? Yes. Now, most of the companies and universities are wanting people to clear the JLPT exam. So, it is basically for the non-Japanese people to understand their level of proficiency, and it is designed to measure the Japanese proficiency of non-native Japanese speakers. So now many people do want you to show the certificate after you finish learning the course. So this is a globally recognized certification. So wherever you go, the JLPT exam certification is having value. So that is why it's a mandate now. Most of the companies and universities want us to show us the certificate before we get into their place of work. Now, so people who plan to live in Japan, who plan to work or study in Japan, I would say, yes, the JLPT exam is mostly mandated. Now, is there any point in taking the JLPT exam? Honestly speaking, once we clear any exam, our sole motive is to be able to speak in Japanese, like any foreign language for that matter. But most of the times, even though we are very good at, speaking, they do ask us for a certification just to keep it in the records. So that is why for seeking employment and for living there, sometimes a certification is really important. So that is where the JLPT exam comes into picture, and taking it is definitely beneficial in the long term. And N5 level certification is very much needed for you to assess your own level. Which level are you? What are you good at? What are your key points, your weak points, your strong and weak points? That is going to really help you measure yourself. So I think that is why taking the exam, I would say, yes, it's a very good way to assess your own self. And going on, you'll be able to even take up the higher levels once you're more confident with the basic levels. So now we'll just get into an overview of the JLPT level N5 mostly, but the rules what I will be showing is mostly the basic rules which are you know it's almost the common rule for all the levels of JLPT exam. So now the basic level N5 tests you on some of the most basic aspects of the Japanese language. So now when you have to take up the exam, you should be good at the hiragana and katakana, which are the most important, the basic alphabets. And the first 100 kanjis are also expected to be learned in order for you to take up the JLPT exam. Now, after the JLPT N5 course, our motive will be able to read simple topics, understand slow oral conversations, and also you'll be able to talk about very basic everyday topics like in case you go shopping, you'll be able to ask the price. And when they say the price, you'll be able to understand the pricing. And then simple greetings, and then how to greet each other. In case you go to a restaurant, you'll be able to make basic conversations. So those kind of casual conversations, basic conversations, you'll be able to do it after you finish the basic N5 level course. Now, what are the sections covered in the exam? The sections which are covered in the exam are, you have the vocabulary section, which will be consisting of the kanji, the spellings, and the expressions, and also the paraphrases. All of this will come under the vocabulary section. Next, the grammar and the reading section, you will be tested based on the forming of sentences using the right verb form, basic texts, and also how much you'll be able to do the basic reading comprehensions. All of this will be covered in the grammar and reading sections. And yeah, this is one section. This is one section, both combined as one section. And the last one is the listening section. So these are the three sections which will be covered in all of the exams, whichever level it is. Whether it is N5 or N1, the sections will be common. Next, for the JLPT exam, basic level N5, you'll need to know about 800 vocabulary words and as well as the first 100 basic kanjis. Now, the vocabulary will be like very basic words such as, weather related, job related, hobbies, and mostly words that you will be using in your daily life. And the first 100 to 110 kanjis also are very basic, like, numbers, days of the week, and very simple verbs like standing, sitting, writing, reading, all of that. Very simple basic verbs will be covered in the first 100 kanjis. Also, when you look at the grammar aspect, you have the particles, wa, ga, etc. These are used as well as verb conjugation. Like, for example, talking about present tense, past tense, future tense, what are you currently doing? So all that you'll be able to express. For example, I just went and had my lunch. I'm still eating my lunch. I'm about to have it. Just before eating, I did a particular activity. All of that basic verb conjugations and how to express yourselves will be used and taught in the JLPT N5 basic level course. Now, how is the JLPT N5 scored and what's the passing mark? Now, for the vocabulary, all your sections combined will be around a total of 180 points. You have 120 points allocated for the vocabulary, grammar, and reading section. And after that, you have 60 points, which is allocated only for listening. So a total score of 180 points is the grand total. We need to get at least 80 marks to pass. The thing is that you'll have to pass in every section. Just getting an overall pass marks is not a guaranteed pass. Instead, you have to pass in every section. Only then will you be eligible for the certification. You'll be getting the certificate in hand. And 19 points, you need to get a minimum of 19 in the listening section to pass, right? And 38 points in vocabulary, grammar, and reading sections is a minimum. Okay. Now coming to the duration, how long is the examination? Okay, now every section has a different time length. Now I'm just focusing on the level N5, the allocated time, because as we go into the higher levels, your sections, the amount of time allocated will get higher. So for N5 level, vocabulary section is just a 20-minute paper. For grammar and reading, it's 40 minutes. And last, you have the listening section, which is just 30-minute paper. So the total exam lasts for about 1.5 hours. You'll definitely be getting a break after every section. So there will be a small break time. Now, let's look at the main points to remember when you're supposed to be, when we want to ideally clear the JLPT exam. What are the tips on how to successfully pass the exam? And by the way, do you all know how many times the exam is conducted in a year? Any idea?
Yeah, it's 2 times.
Yes, 2 times. And when is that?
First Sunday of July, first Sunday of December.
Yes, first Sunday of July and first Sunday of December. That's right. Now, let's look at the main points to remember and when to clear, how to clear. Now, first thing you need to start understanding is to get familiar with the JLPT N5 structure and content. So when you know that you are appearing for your exam, you need to know the structure, the types of questions, and you should also be familiar with the different sections. Like I told you, we have a vocab section, we have a grammar and reading section, and then we also have a listening section. So you need to be aware that we have 3 sections and we need to be targeting all the 3 sections in order to pass, because we just can't stick on to one particular section and say that, okay, I'm good at vocabulary and I'm going to pass. That will not work. So we'll have to focus on vocabulary. In vocabulary, not to forget, we need to be good at kanjis as well, because kanji plays a very important role Without kanjis, not much of reading goes on in Japanese. So kanjis are a must. Then we have the grammar section, reading comprehension. Also, we need to start timing ourselves right from the beginning, because every reading comprehension passage, you'll have like hardly 4 to 5 minutes time to crack it. So that is why every section is very, very important. And please remember that the JLPT exam is an MCQ based paper. So it's a multiple choice question paper. And the way the questions are framed depends on the difficulty level of which level you are attempting. Mostly N5 and N4 are quite easy. So it's an MCQ based question. Next thing, learning essential Japanese grammar and vocabulary is also an essential component. So without vocabulary, we can't tell that we are able to read Japanese. So that is why vocabulary, 800 vocabularies do play a very, very important role. Also, we need to be quite good at understanding the pronouns, the nouns, the question words like dare, doko, donata, do desu ka, and also the adjectives. We have two types of adjectives, e adjectives, na adjectives. We should be able to categorize them based on the types. So once you start getting familiar with the vocabulary, we'll slowly move on to the grammar. And when you look at the grammar aspect, it's mostly, first step would be to start understanding and to memorize special expressions such as, the basic greetings. And slowly we'll gradually progress to more difficult ones like madashita and osaki ni shitsure shimasu, otsukare sama deshita. When are we using this? Okay, so these kind of phrases, when you start memorizing them, there'll be a slow, gradual shift between vocabulary to grammar. Now, next, also to any new language is mostly volatile in nature. You might remember today, but no chance, no guarantee that we'll remember tomorrow. So that is why a daily habit of, studying is very, very important. That small discipline aspect, what most of us, try to feel when we feel that, okay, it's okay if we just don't do it today, there that small lack might result in a failure. So I think keeping in touch with vocabulary on a day-to-day basis is very, very important. And for the kanji aspect, I would say that, to prepare flashcards, to keep the cards with you, or small chits wherein you write which kanji and what are the onyomis and kunyomis. If you like keep it with you handy, anytime when you're free, flipping them will definitely aid in better memorization. Now, you can also access a lot of JLPT vocabulary lists online. Okay, there are quite a bit of apps such as Anki and Ippo. There are many, many other flashcard decks available online. So Anki is like the most popular one. You can just use Anki, and you can even build your own vocabulary using Anki. So that is one of the best tools I have found so far, and nothing like creating your own one at home. So people who don't have time, I would recommend online flashcard decks like Anki and Ippo. And also, when you group vocabulary subject-wise or usage-wise, that is going to be even better for you to remember. For example, let's say you're looking at only time-related words. So keeping a list of time-related words like, weekdays, days of the week, and then months, the dates of a month, and the calendar, and what are the particles involved when it is time, kara, made, etc. G, toki, all of these words which are related to the time, when you group them and study together, they will be able to, retain in your memory for a longer time. So I think developing essential vocabulary skills is very, very important. Next, I really recommend contextual reading. So many a times, just mugging up the vocabulary may not help us, but for some people, contextual reading can help. For example, let's say the word Nikki. Nikki means diary, writing a diary. Okay, Nikki or Kako. So I may not remember Nikki. What do? I remember a context, a sentence wherein I'm using this particular word. For example, Sam Sannuno Nikki. Sam Son's diary. So if there is a context which is there to help me remember the word, I think for many people, this is one technique that works. So reading phrases or brief sections will help you retain the vocabulary. If you don't want to memorize it individually, then maybe learning a sentence itself and noting down the words in your memory can help better. Now, also, I always recommend my students, especially in kanji, when you're learning kanji and basics, hiragana, katakana, I always recommend mnemonics. So when they learn mnemonics, it's really helpful for them to start memorizing the kanji characters. As you understand, kanji might be a little difficult for people to remember on the long run. What I do, I show them a picture which is very, very similar to that particular kanji. For example, here when you see, this is the kanji for stop, tomeru no kanji this, right? So this is the kanji, a symbol which says stop. Now my students may not remember this. So what do? I add a picture which helps them remember this kanji better. Okay, so if I show this picture telling, the policeman is telling you to stop, you might associate that picture with this image, and this helps in better storage in the memory. So I would not just suggest this for kanji, I would also suggest this for many other words. When you can't remember words, associate with anything that you want to focus on. So in that way, association, telling a small story about that word, trying to use it in your own imagination. So in that way, linking a tale or a picture to a character will help you keep it in your memory for the longer time. Next, also, common sentence structures are to be grouped together and learned separately. For example, let's say we're looking at conjugations. There are many forms of conjugation. You have must form conjugation, you have te forms, you have ta forms, and nakereba narimasen, nai form. Many forms are there in just for verb conjugation. Now, if I don't remember all of them together, what do? I make a common sentence pattern, like a list. Okay, for example, let's say this is the particle list. Now, I may not suddenly remember which one where. So instead, I will make a small table like this. Va particle is used for subject. O particle is used to talk about an object, which is my destination particle. Keeping these small tables handy is very, very important because it's going to help you remember for a longer time. And your memory is more organized. It's like, okay, so the particles, when you think of a particle, the list comes in front of you. You'll be able to imagine the whole list. Same way when you try to group categories, like the must form conjugations, what are the rules involved? When you keep a small rule book handy, it's definitely going to help you study and clear your exam faster. And yes, now let's also not focus on the reading skills.
In your
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. In your
Yeah, yeah.
previous slide,
Hmm.
location and means both particles same.
Yes, depends on the usage.
Okay.
Yes, there can be many particles can be interlinked.
Okay.
Okay, so destination particle, we use ni as well as a. And for time also, for indicating the time, we use ni particle at this particular time.
Okay.
Okay, hi. So next, let's look at the reading skills. Now, how do I improve my reading skills? Just looking at a particular paragraph, it doesn't mean that sticking to our textbook and then we'll be able to clear the exam. Sometimes it's not necessary that 100% of the questions will come from whatever we have studied. Here and there, a few words, a few terms might come from elsewhere. So that's where knowing being a good reader, trying to access knowledge, enhance your knowledge by reading many other things, small articles, listen to the news, etc., will definitely help. So how do I practice reading So, practicing reading Japanese, initially you could start reading the Japanese newspaper. You have the beginner version as well, which is the NHK Japan. I would really recommend you people to read that, NHK Japan. And you also have blogs. If you like Google, you'll get tons of blogs to read. And then on YouTube, you'll also see small short stories for N5 level, N4 level, which will definitely help you read better and understand better. So with this, it's going to help you improve your reading speed. And this also introduces many new words and phrases. So with that, your reading skills will definitely be improved. Yes. And what I suggest is, even when we get a certificate, doesn't mean that we are good at speaking. So ultimately, when we crack an interview, we have to be able to talk and understand what they're talking. So I think that's where the pronunciation, talking comes into picture. Now, in case you don't have another person with you who's learning Japanese, whom you don't have any contact with, who's learning Japanese just like you, what do I do then? I think one way is to improve your conversation skills by reading whatever you are, by telling what you're reading aloud. So in case there is a complete, um, you know, just the sentences are there and a very small conversation part is there dedicated in your textbook, and you don't have another person to talk to, just read it aloud. By reading aloud, many things will improve. Your pronunciation will improve, your fluency will improve. And when you actually read loudly, some things get registered, unlike silent reading. So this is also one of the most important key skills to help you improve your Japanese language skills. And so with that, it also helps you, recognize kanjis, because suddenly when you read and then you see there's some new word, a new kanji, you'll ponder about it. And you'll also think about the errors that might have, that were possibly eliminated when you're reading aloud and when there was a silent reading. So with that, you'll be able to make association about your fluency, your sentence structure, your pronunciations. And if you have a, friend who's learning Japanese, I think that's one of the best ways to, sit and talk and improve your skills. Nothing like that, because each one will be correcting others' mistakes. That's the best way. But if you can't find that, then maybe reading aloud will also equally benefit. Next, how do I practice my listening skills? As I told you, listening also is very, very important, because you'll have to get minimum 19 marks to pass in your exam. So with that 19 pass marks in your listening section, we won't be able to get a certificate. So listening also plays a very, very important role. So even though I'm very good at vocabulary, I'm very good at reading comprehension, and I don't score well in listening, then it's going to be tough for us. So how do I practice my listening skills? So yeah, so there are audios available on YouTube, and with your textbooks that we follow, Minna and Nihongo, we do have our specific audios available. I think listening to it on a daily basis will definitely help us. There are a lot of podcasts. I will never rule out anime. Watching anime is one of the best ways to improve your listening. You may not understand what they're talking 100%, but it's going to improve your vocabulary at a very, very different extent. And with anime, the actual pace of the way Japanese people speak is also plays a very crucial role. So in the anime, the speech style and the pace, how fast they speak, is exactly how the Japanese people speak. So with that, you'll be able to understand and associate well. So I think with that, you'll also be able to understand the accents and the speech styles. So when I talk about the speech styles, there are two types. One is the honorific or the humble expressions, which is like the very formal one. And also we have the informal one, which is used between friends and families. So that accent and the speech style, you'll be able to differentiate when you start watching anime, right? So with that, you'll be able to definitely, and it doesn't mean so for listening, there is no specific set syllabus. Yeah, most of the 90% of the words, vocabulary, whatever you've learned in your textbook, you might get it. But the 10% here and there, which not many people will be able to crack, you will be able to crack it if you, watch anime, watch news, and get exposed more to how the Japanese people speak. So with that, you'll definitely be able to uh, crack the listening section. So yes, and when we talk about shadowing, repeating the audio after you listen to it once is very, very important. So with that, it helps you to understand and analyze better. So I think shadowing also is one of the most important techniques to improve listening and speaking, right? So yes, and last but not the least, I would also want to tell you people that having a study routine, having a weekly plan or a monthly plan or a goal is also very, very important. So having a weekly Japanese language study time, like, a dedicated time, a specific time, so that you are going to be studying at that particular, hour, maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day, or even 10 minutes a day, right from the day one, it's definitely going to help you clear your exam. And whenever you are aiming for the goal, try and make a comprehensive plan. For example, we have 110 kanjis roughly. So how many do you need to study every day if you're starting from today, right? Maybe 1 or 2 a day is sufficient rather than keeping it pending later. So learning 1 kanji, 2 kanjis a day, 5 vocabulary a day, just 1 sentence pattern a day. I think it's really going to help you. 3 months, 4 months down the lane, you're going to be very good at Japanese. So effective organization and perfect time management is also one of the key important details. So if you try to strive and remember everything the last minute, I'm sure you'll just end up wasting too much time. And then all we do is we'll just panic and we don't know how the result is going to turn out. So start planning from day one. What is your goal? And start strategizing. And also, we do need to have some review time. Just because we have learned and we don't revise and don't review and we attend the exam directly, then we don't know how it's going to turn out, right? So set aside some time for reviewing. What did I do this week? Right? So with that, you'll be able to retain information and you'll be able to finish whatever you had to on time. As I told you, this subject tends to be a little volatile. Today, you may remember the word for, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, okay? Getsuyobi, Kayobi, Mokuyobi, Suyobi, Mokuyobi, etc. Next week, you may not remember these words. How do I make sure that I'm in touch with them? So every day studying the vocabulary, revising on a day-to-day basis, using the flashcards, I think they are really going to help you. So also try to finish your study program 1 to 2 weeks before your exam. So if your JLPT exam is the first week of first Sunday of December, try to finish everything before 15th of November, so that the 15 days will be only your revision time, or at least 10 days you have for revision. With that, you'll be able to do much better. And for mock tests, I would suggest checking out the JLPT official website, because that provides you the latest, most comprehensive mock exam papers, which you'll be able to take it up. And online Quizlet, you have many, many quizzes on YouTube. If you just type N5 audio practice, you'll have tons of audio practice out there for you to practice just for the JLPTA level. So with that, you'll also be able to compete and enhance your study skills much better. But for mock exams, I would still tell you all to please refer to the JLPT official website. Okay, when you just type in JLPT official website, you will get it on Google. I would recommend you to go through the mock papers on that website, because it's mostly the latest one which is available, and you also have the answer keys for them. So once you finish the paper, you can also check your answers. So that's also one of the best ways to practice for your exam. And yes, as I told you, please don't focus on one single point, one single part. Let's say I'm very good at vocabulary and my strong point is my kanji. It doesn't mean that I'm going to pass the exam. No, we need to get a minimum pass mark in every section. So please don't ignore other sections. Please make sure that you strategize and give enough time for every single section. Only then will you be able to clear the JLPT exam. Also, yes. So yes, listening should not be ruled out. As we keep climbing the level higher, the pass marks increases. For N1, it is 100. We need to get 100 marks out of 180 to pass. So the minimum pass keeps increasing level by level. But for N5, it is 80. You need to get minimum 80 marks out of 180 to pass. Okay, so those are the tips that I came up with. I want you all to share yours. I want you all to ask about whatever doubts you all have, anything, questions, queries.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi. Yeah, please tell me.
All right, thank you very much. In fact, I love the presentation.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, concerning the Anki tool, some of us, we are only focusing on Duolingo app.
Okay.
So is there any other app that can help us to use the Anki tool very well in terms of the flashcard?
Yes. Huh.
Uh-huh. So is it
Hmm.
okay? You can explain better.
Okay, so personally, I feel that having our own flashcard deck is the best. So when I read on a day-to-day basis, let's say I studied 5 vocabularies today, I take 5 pieces of papers and make 5 different sheets, small sheets written. Every word is written in one sheet, and behind that I will write the meaning of it. I'm sure everyone will not be able to do that. I would recommend Quizlet app because Quizlet also has enough number of quizzes for you to take up.
Okay, ma'am. What you are mentioning is it quiz app?
Quizlet, yeah, these are online apps. Otherwise, you can even buy flashcards on Amazon. You get flashcards for N5 on Amazon, which you'll be able to practice. You can just carry it wherever you are and keep practicing the words or the kanjis, whatever you buy. So they are readily available online as well.
Okay, apart from buying on Amazon,
Mm.
which other area can I get it?
I think any of the global platforms, you should be able to find them wherever you are.
Great,
Because nowadays these are getting quite accessible. So if you have Amazon Japan, if that is accessible to you in your country, I think that as well you will be able to procure.
grateful. Thank you very
Thank you
much,
so
ma'am.
much. No, no
Okay, ma'am.
problem.
So can you help us with the N5 syllabus so that we can?
Yes, I teach N5.
Okay. So the condition.
I'm N2 certified. I'm going to be taking my N1 exam. So I finished 4 levels out of the 5 levels. So
Oh,
I train people who want to learn N5, N4, etc.
congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
All right. Any WhatsApp group for us to join in terms of?
You can just get in touch with the coordinator. I'll tell her definitely. She'll get in touch with you about the course details.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Ma'am, what would be the course fee and the duration of the N5 level exam, ma'am?
The duration of the course, what we teach, N5 is for 60 hours.
Okay.
Regarding the payment and the course fees and everything, the coordinator will get in touch with you. She will send you the quote and everything.
Okay. And it's mostly online class or is it off
No, only online.
only online? And it is on a
Yes.
weekday, ma'am, or a weekend batch?
There is both. Weekdays mostly.
It's mostly weekdays. Okay.
Yes.
It will be in the morning, right? Or
Morning, afternoon, evening, all the time, depending on the availability of the students.
Okay. I
Yeah.
understand.
So we take from morning till evening.
Okay. Got it. Understood. Yeah.
Yes. So it's a 60-hour course. N5 is 60 hours.
60 hours. Okay.
Yes. Any more queries? Any more questions? You want to contribute to how to remember things more than...
Yeah, Sensei. So,
Hi.
yeah. So regarding the particles,
Mm.
so can we have for each particle, can we have one or two sentence pre-written and we can mug it up so that we could able to use it, or else there is a different forms for different places.
So yes, so some people are good at just remembering, like, when I say a part A, they will remember it as destination particle. When I say ni, they will remember it as the time particle, or it can also be place. So when I say they particle, they will remember it as action, which is done at a particular location. So it works for some, but some people, they will not remember it that way. So what do? They write a sentence for each particle. And if that works for you, then I think you should try that. Write a sentence for every usage of a particle. For example, kuji ni nani o shimashita ka? Right? At 9 o'clock, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So for that ni particle is coming, you can, if you think that is how you will be able to remember things, you should try that. But these are the only 2 techniques I know to remember particles. And remember, particles is a very, very vast subject in Japanese. As we keep going higher up, every particle will have multiple usages.
Okay.
So at this point of time, just remembering one sentence for every usage should be beneficial.
Okay. Yeah.
Hi. Oh, by the way, that was Kombayasan. He's pursuing N5.
Yeah, and
So that's why he had subject
she's
related
my
questions
sensei.
as well. Hi. Any more doubts?
Yes, ma'am. Let me come in again. With all apology, you see how the structure of the N5 is?
Hmm.
Is there any paper on your desktop so that you can display for us to see sample of it so that we can that can motivate us to push forward?
Sample in the sense, what kind of sample are you looking for?
Like in terms of the structure, sample mock exam.
Mock test?
Sample exam paper.
Sample exam paper?
Mm,
Okay, I'll have to just check that. Give me a minute, please.
Thank you.
Hi, no problem. Meanwhile, any more questions?
Yes, sensei. So,
Hi.
what do you think about Google Translate? Will it work or?
Google Translate, of course it works.
Yeah. Okay.
It works, but I would not say 100%. Any day, machines will have errors. So it's always the natives who are able to correct it. The people who have sound knowledge about Japanese will be able to correct it. So yes, it can be used, but cannot be relied completely.
Yeah, actually, I was facing some difficulty in using Google Translate because there are some pronunciation differentiation will be having, right? So it can't identify the exact word what we are actually looking for. So
Hi. So yes, I would not say it is 100% efficient, but yes, most of the places you can use it.
okay.
Hi. Just a minute. I'm just trying to project a paper. Okay, so I'll just show you a sample paper which has all the different sections in it.
Yes.
Okay. Right. So now let's just look at the very first. Okay, now this is your vocabulary section. Okay, this is how the JLPT exam paper looks like. So this is the old one. Now it is not 25 minutes, it's 20 minutes duration for you to crack it. So you'll have the instructions and everything. You'll have to write your roll number, your name, etc. Then we have, this is the actual paper. First, they'll give you a sample. What is the rule? And then we have, this is your kanji section. If you see, first part, you will have a word. You will have to guess the equivalent hiragana, katakana version of it. This is the kanji, and you have to guess what is the meaning. What is the reading of it? So another part of it will have vice versa. You'll have the hiragana of it, and then you have to guess which is the kanji of it. Okay, so on. You'll have many questions related only to the vocabulary, and they will test you the vocabulary. After that, you have the grammar section. How does the grammar section look like? Right. So for the grammar section, you have same starting page. So then you have, fill in the right particle. And after that, right word, particles, then conjunctions, and what are the different forms that will fit in, which conjugation, is it present, past, future, etc. And this is the jumbled sentence. Okay. You'll have to unjumble it and write the correct form.
Okay.
Okay, you do have a jumbled form as well. So how does it make sense? So that you'll have to figure it out from the options and put in the correct one.
Okay.
Okay. And we also have the reading part. The reading section. Reading section is a little more comprehensive with more amount of, there's quite a bit of reading in this. More words. So you will have first you'll have like the smaller versions of it, really small passages, which you'll have to like crack it within 4 minutes.
Wow.
And because you won't have time, otherwise you'll be losing out. And then here you'll have to pick the right one based on the information given. So these are the kind of questions that you should be wondering, that you should be expecting. And then we have a small letter sample. So they've written here, and what is it? Whom is it addressed to, etc. What is the content of it? And then we have this lighter, longer passages as well. So this maybe you can take 8 minutes, 7 to 8 minutes to finish reading and answering. So same way. Also, this is your last question, sort of a pamphlet or some actual information related, like maybe a train ticket or some food coupon or maybe something related to a mall. You'll generally have that here, last part, and then you'll have to analyze it and tick the correct answer.
Oh, okay. Ma'am, thank you very much.
No problem.
The paper, the way it seems like you need to learn how to write the Japanese language.
I wouldn't say you need to learn how to write. Yes, writing is important, but it's a multiple choice question based. You'll get you'll get another paper wherein you have to take the correct answer.
Okay, ma'am, because if you see Duolingo, the only app that I'm using, Duolingo, you know, they pronounce it and then write it in reading form. But per what I'm seeing for the exam now, it means that the Japanese words, letters, are very key for you to know.
Yes, I would not recommend any app at all because no app is going to teach you in a comprehensive way.
Okay.
They might see, okay, now for Duolingo, did they teach you hiragana, katakana initially, or did they ask you how to order food in a restaurant? Was that how they taught you?
Yes, for the Duolingo, they have the hiragana.
Yes.
So you
Okay.
select the one that you'll be moving with. So they make
Right.
it sense for you to.
Correct. So I personally feel that if you really want to take up the exam, learning it in a structured way is more important because any app is not going to be very beneficial fully. I would just say they're helping aids.
Okay.
But how do you understand Japanese or
Oh.
any language for that matter? You need to learn from scratch.
Sure.
Of course, you can pick up a lot of things using movies, animes, and everything. But how do you put it in one book?
Okay.
Maybe they're like different pages. But when you have to comprehend it to one book from the starting page to the ending page, I think you need to have a structure for it, right?
Sure.
So structured analysis and learning is the right way if you have to speak to them.
Okay. Thank you very much.
No problem. I hope I have answered your question.
Sure.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, Sensei. So
Yes.
I would suggest one more
Hmm.
thing which I am actually following it right away, but I'm not sure whether
Okay.
it is working or not. But
Sure.
actually, I used to scroll Facebook in a while. So I could see a lot of JLPT N5, Japanese for beginners. So
Yes.
those Nihongo, those pages, very often I have liked
Yes.
more than 10 pages. So
Yes.
those pages they are posting a regular kind of a flashcards related to our regular activity like
Of course.
Biru
Huh.
Gohan,
Hmm.
Hiru Gohan, like that. So
Correct.
that if we are spending much time in social media, then we can also use those sort of
Of
things. And
course. Yes, very rightly told. When you see Instagram and when you see Facebook and every other many options now, you can definitely pick up words. So you'll pick up words, you'll pick up vocabulary, you'll pick up so many things. So that is also one of the best ways to learn Japanese. I would never deny it. Thank you so much. I totally forgot about that point.
thank you.
Hi. Any more doubts? Any more questions? No more questions. So is it time for me to say thank you then?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Arigatou gozaimashita.
Arigato, ma'am.
Arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, everyone. Hi. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking your time and joining in today. I'll definitely ask the coordinator to please keep in touch with all of you in case you all need any more information. So our coordinator should be right here, Pushpa ma'am. Okay, just give me a minute, please. Yeah, so our coordinator is right. She's just going to be talking to you all. Hi,
Hello.
Pushpa. Yeah.
Yeah. If you have any queries, just you can ask me regarding the course.
Yeah. Could you please give them the phone number, ma'am? They'll get in touch with you.
Pardon me?
Could you please share your phone number so that they will get in touch with you in the chat box or however?
Yes. I'll text you in a chat. Just you can, if you have any further queries, you can let me know. And I think so. If you would like to enroll it or a course information regarding any details, if you need it, just you can WhatsApp me or call me on the same number. Just a second, I'm doing it. Yeah, I've shared you the number. And yeah, thank you for the webinar, Purva.
Thank you so much.
It went well.
Thank you.
And nice to hear. I think so. Like I just wanted to check all of them. Like would like to go for the online session or offline classes, or since like we are providing only online session as of now, and just you can contact me and I'll give you the more details about it. Is that fine? Do you have any further queries? You can ask me. I'll just clarify it.
Can I ask you right now, or do you want me to call you?
Anything is fine. Either you can call me or like separately, or else you can, if you have anything, just you can ask me now.
No, I just wanted to know the course fees and the duration of the course, ma'am. That's all I want to know. So, what is the course fee like, and how long is this course actually? N5?
Yes. I'll just brief you about that. I think so. If you are, I hope you are like N5 is the beginner level. The duration is the 60 hours, and the fees is 15,800. It
Okay.
includes the materials.
Yes.
Though we will courier the hard copies of the materials to your address. Since
Okay.
if you are in India, Indian address, we will courier it. If
Okay.
the students from abroad, so we'll send them the soft copies of them.
Hard copies of it. Okay. And what are the
Yes.
timings of the classes, ma'am?
That I'll just check with Apurva because I need to check with her availability as well. Either morning or in the evening, there will be a session.
Okay.
Morning, most probably like 10 to 11:30, or in the evening, 7 to 8 p.m. or 6 to 7:30 p.m. Let me have a word with her and I can update you the schedules.
All right. Sure.
Uh, and anyway, weekdays and weekends we do offer. Weekdays, Monday to Friday, weekends only Saturday and Sundays.
Okay. All right. Understood.
Yeah, if you take up on a weekday session, it goes approximate 2 months. Weekends, it takes around 4 months to complete N5 level.
Okay. Understood.
Yes. Any of them, do you have anything to ask?
Yeah, Pushpa ma'am, currently I'm being the student of Apurva ma'am. So
Okay.
may I share the feedback to the people here?
Yeah, feedback, just you can just WhatsApp me, and even I'll share you the link of our website where you can just rate about her training and how
Yeah,
did you
sure.
feel about the classes. I think so it will be helpful for other students also, those who are going to enroll it.
Sure.
Okay, thank you then. I'll share you the link. You can
Oh,
WhatsApp me.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Anything else? Yeah, Purva, let us wind up. And if they have any further queries, they they'll contact me. Okay,
Sure.
then I'll
Thank
just
you.
guide them. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
the
very much.
webinar. Have a pleasant evening. Good
Yeah,
night.
thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you then. Bye bye.
Bye.